If you've been feeling lately a sense of unsafety, insecurity, fear, confusion, then I think this video is for you. And I want to speak from my experience of these feelings and what I've realized as a profound insight and reorientation for myself to move forward in alignment with who I really am. And if you're seeing this video, then I think it's speaking to you where you're at in a particular place on your path too. And so I hope that it's helpful for you. First things first, there's a lot going on in the world. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. And even though we're all individuals and we're all scattered all over this world, there is a collective consciousness that we all are. We're all a part of humanity. And in that, there is not separation. So everything that's happening all over the world, as a vibrational being, as a receptive and sensitive, energetic being, you will feel all of these things in some way or another. You may not consciously be aware precisely of what it is and where it's coming from and what it means, but on some level, you're aware of it. And so your body is processing it, your mind is processing it, your emotional body is processing it, and all of this is happening without you even needing to think about it. Some of us are more consciously aware of it than others. That doesn't make it better or worse or right or wrong. It just, we all have our own experience of this. And so that's one aspect of it. Then you have your more relative individual experience of your day-to-day life, your circumstances, your relationships, your choices, your challenges. All of this is presenting this vibrational, energetic blueprint of a experience for you to navigate, for you to relate to, for you to decide within, for you to learn from. And that's really the essence of the first part of this message, is that everything that we're experiencing right now in our world and in our day-to-day individual lives is an opportunity to understand first and foremost who we truly are. Because we came into this world wanting the richness of this experience, seeking the depth of all that's possible to encounter, to relate to choose within, to face, to process, to get messy with, right? Get into the trenches with. That's why we're here. And as difficult as it may seem, and as challenging as it may feel in our day-to-day life, there's a part of you that really wants these experiences. It's the reason why you came, actually. It's the reason why you chose this life, this time, this particular circumstance and life situation, and everything that's happening right now in this unique window of our world on Earth. And you have a particular role to play in that. Despite what you may think about yourself or where you think you're at or whatever else, you do have a specific purpose and an important position, so to speak, within all of this. We wouldn't be, as a collective, moving towards what we're moving towards, the sort of golden age, the awakening, without you. So that's all to put this into context. There is a greater purpose to this. And even though you may be feeling unsafe and insecure, more so than usual, perhaps, and fear and doubt and confusion, there is a tendency, and I can speak from my experience, of wanting to seek safety, wanting to cultivate a sense of peace first, before feeling that it's possible to do anything. I think you know what I mean. Looking for a reason to feel good in order to then live our lives, be who we are, create and share and express ourselves as we are, and all that we're inspired and called to offer. But this is, from my experience, from my direct insight and realization, not why we're here. Because what I've realized in all of my seeking, in all of my meditation, and all my searching, inner searching, soul searching in this life, spending 6 months living at a monastery, diving deeper than I could have ever thought possible, researching and reading and adventuring all over the world for years now, I've realized that actually it is this messiness, the murkiness, the chaos, the uncertainty, the unpredictability, the unsafety, the insecurity, that separation, that fear, that actually is what you want. And I want you to stay with me here in this, because this is potentially a profound breakthrough. Because in all of that seeking, I was resisting. And in that resisting, I was longing for relief from my own resistance to that experience. And in that resistance and in that longing for relief, I did a number of different things, as I mentioned, spending 6 months meditating at a monastery, traveling the world, reading all these books, spending countless hours internally contemplating, inquiring, investigating, all for good purpose, all for good reason. But what I discovered, what I realized, is that I am peace. I am safety. I am security. I am an infinite, timeless, limitless freedom of possibility. That is my nature. And so I can never be separate from that. I can never not be that. It is where I have come from. It is where I am going. It is inevitable. That is the truth of me and you. And so you are not here to find that. You are not even here to bask in that and just be that, because that's the most familiar thing to you. It is natural. It is inherent. It is innate. It is inescapable. It is what you always already are. And so as that timeless, immovable, unshakable safety and security and freedom and peace, you came to experience the contrast. You came here to be in the midst of chaos. You came here to forget that, to experience the myriad of challenges, of difficulties, of inner incongruencies. You came to come out of alignment, to experience all of these things and to be in them, to be with them, to be so okay with them. Because in your heart of heart, that home frequency, that feeling of unfuckwithability is always there. And so even in the midst of danger, even in the midst of confusion and frustration and the sense of there being a risk or consequences for what you could say, for what you could create, for who you are, for what you're doing, for anything that is happening around you, you came for that. You came to be in that. You came to interact with that. You came to alchemize that, transmute that, create with that. You came to express in interaction with that. You came to dance with all of this. You did not come to remove yourself from it. You did not come to escape from it. You did not come to resist it and suppress it. You came to embrace it. You came to use it, to mold it, to manifest within it. Because you are a creator. You are an infinite creator, and in alignment as the creator of your life, you get to navigate all of this and use it as creative fuel to birth possibilities that were not possible without that experience. Because where you come from, who you truly are, does not know that contrast. In that place, in that space, in that dimension of your being, there is not that separation, that distinction, that contrast, that spectrum of experience. So this is a rich world. This is a deep, profound adventure within consciousness that allows you to tap into aspects of yourself that you wouldn't otherwise be able to access, wouldn't otherwise be able to work with, wouldn't otherwise be able to transmute and alchemize into new possibilities, into the expansion of yourself and of the universe, of creation itself. Because as a creator, you came here to create. And you cannot create if you're seeking relief from the resistance to what is. You cannot create something beautiful if you're not willing to get dirty, muddy, get into the chaos, take risks, face the consequences. You came here to put yourself on the line. You came here to be lost, to be feeling disconnected. You came here to be in the midst of all of this, in the collective, as this great awakening is unfolding, as all these events are happening, in this fear, in this doubt, in this insecurity, in this sense of unsafety, to be able to, yes, remember who you are in that, but to work with that, mold with that, dance with that, so that it can become something beautiful. Like you've seen probably photos of the flower that's growing in the middle of a battlefield. And what is more beautiful in that moment, in that war zone, than a flower, a beautiful flower that's showing up in the middle of a war zone where all hope is lost, where all humanity is forgotten, where all compassion is lost. And in that moment, the recognition of what's possible, even in the midst of a bloody war zone. And that's an analogy for life. The life that we are experiencing right now is that in the midst of all of this is your authentic expression, your unique creativity, your truth. And that is that flower blossoming in the middle of a battlefield. And when you give yourself permission to get on the battlefield, get into the arena of life, put yourself out there to live your calling, to fulfill on your purpose of being the individual, the one in a million, the one in 7 billion, the one of a kind, original, unique individual that you are. That is your purpose, to be you, and to face these things, to integrate these things, to embrace these things, to transmute and alchemize all of these things, to create with these things, to offer a gift from your soul to the world, so that everyone who sees it can remember their purpose, their possibility, their potential, their own creativity, their own authenticity, their own unique voice, so that we can all remember that we are that peace. We are that safety. We are that security. We are that freedom inherently, already. And so by that fact, by that virtue, by that truth, we came here to get messy, to get murky. We came here for the chaos. We came here for the beautiful destruction. We came here for the uncertainty. We are all here to experience that sense of separation and to, in that, create something beautiful that unifies us, that brings light to the world, that reveals that unfuckwithable nature of ourselves. And when we make that the priority, rather than making relief from this world or seeking solace from the discomfort, trying to escape our problems and challenges rather than face them and make the most of them, make beautiful art with them, express ourselves truly and authentically within all of this. That's when the world becomes a beautiful place. And not when we make each other wrong or try to take sides or try to advocate for the right or wrong thing, but rather to look at our direct experience and find the flower. Embrace that beauty that is there when you know who you are, and when you remember why you're here, and when you realize that we are all one, and that in that oneness there is great meaning, great possibility, that we're all just walking each other home, as Ram Dass said. And so, if this message resonates with you and if it's helpful, then I think you'll also find that my Aligned Creator Blueprint, which is a 40-page workbook that I have written from my own direct experience of 6 months at a monastery and traveling the world for the last 5 years and growing this YouTube channel in less than 1 year from 0 to 20,000 subscribers. And all of this I say because it has been my own transmuting of my experience, my own alchemizing of this experience, and my own distilling all of this into this book, which may help you to understand yourself, to dig deep into yourself, to find that creative spark again, so that you can have the courage and the resilience and the excitement to embrace this world and reclaim your inspiration and to speak your truth, to share your gifts. And if you want to have access to this book, just comment creator down below and I'll send you a link where you can access it. You can also find a link in the caption where you can learn more about it. And I think that this may be helpful for you to reignite that flame within you, to look at this life as a possibility, as a playground, as an adventure, not something that's threatening to your safety, not something that's reinforcing the separation, but something that's inviting out of you something deep and profound, something beautiful, something magical, something creative, which is why you are here. And it is what your soul longs for. It is what your higher self is crying out for you to remember, so that you can align with that soul, with that higher self, and channel its love and wisdom and the infinite intelligence of life itself as the gift to humanity, so that we can all remember again and walk home through the chaos in alignment with who we all truly are. So again, if you want to have access to this book, just comment creator down below and I'll send you a link where you can learn more about it.